So I wouldn't even be making any videos right now if I wasn't having visions as I've been resting. And I recall going to like some restaurants or something, and I remember seeing groups of black girls doing very sexual stuff together, and they were like really like performing, and some of the stuff was getting a little overboard, like, you know, almost as if they were having sex, but it was in public places. And in the vision I was very beautiful, so I was not like all tore up exactly how I was, but I was like kind of noticing, you know, the women when I would come around them, they would hurry and dismantle their group, and then they would like move around, like move to another side of the building, and I noticed, so it was almost like they were outside, so I could see them in different establishments, because the buildings were missing that they were in. And it was like they were just doing it outside, but it was like symbolic for whichever places they were actually working in. And there were places that had food. There were places where they had food, and people could go in and order food and see these black women all on the stage. You know, the Holy Spirit didn't really show it as them being nasty, but them just working. You know, they were just working and being very seductive and working. And when I came around, they dismantled the group and, you know, kind of shifted or migrated somewhere else. And so I recall it seemed like I woke up in a woman's home, because I didn't really realize what was going on, and there were others that were there, and they left me in a woman's home. And this woman was a very beautiful, dark skin, very dark skin, not really dark, but just very dark skin, tall woman, like from a certain bloodline, like, you know, very tall, dark skinned woman. And she had on like the white people's type of bob curly wig, and she was eating like a sucker or something, and she was trying to hurry up and get me out of her home. And I didn't know it was her house at first, but I know that someone left me with her. And then she was on the couch in the living room, and she started saying that I had to leave. And she wasn't saying it in like a really mean way, but she was like, yeah, you know, you gotta go. Like, she was very beautiful and sexy and confident. And I asked her, I said, may I use your restroom or something like that before I go? And she was like, okay. So I went to the restroom, and I saw on the way to the restroom, I saw that she had a lot in her home. Like, she had a lot of, you know, toiletries. She had a lot of cleaning stuff. She had a lot of girly stuff. She had everything that I needed in her home, and she had supplies of it. So if you had a box of Kleenex, she had 7 boxes of Kleenexes. If you needed baby wipes, she had 7 things of baby wipes. She had 7 things of perfumes. She had 7 things of makeup and mirrors, and everything was brand new and unopened yet. It was like she was supplied. And her house was very nice and clean, you know. I'm not going to say she kept her house as nice and clean as I kept mine, because no, my house was immaculate. But she was supplied. And so when I went inside of her bathroom, then I saw what was going on. and she had pictures of white children, teenagers, smiling from ear to ear with their friends, on the wall. And she had, I don't know if she had grown up with them or if it was her daughter, but there was pictures of these young white girls in elementary with blonde hair, two ponytails, pink and black clothing, in pictures as if they were doing school performances, and there was a very dark-skinned girl right there with him. And I figured that it was her daughter or something. And then I saw pictures of, other white people just all over the bathroom wall, and I was like, oh, she's worshiping them. She's worshiping them, because there were no pictures of any blacks. There was only pictures of this one little dark girl in some of the pictures with the white children, and the rest of the pictures were white children, glitter on the pictures. And I knew then, she can't have me here because she's cool with them. And with what they're trying to do to me in this country, you're going to have to pick a side. And if the whites find out that you have Andrea Jones in your home, they're going to flip. They're going to stop being your friend, because they're trying to starve my baby in my body, and they took my child and threatened to rape and kill my son. And that's horrendous. And no matter how much you've been cool with them, no matter how much you've been friends with them, if you can't draw the line and say, this woman is pregnant and I don't stand for what you're doing to her, and you need to return her son, and that was horrible what you threatened to do to her child, and it's horrible what you have the other blacks doing to her, then the truth is not in you, and you're going to continue to turn a blind eye. And what God calls worshiping them, you're going to worship them, and you're going to continue to be friends with them and say, oh, I don't know anything about the little boy that y'all threatened to rape, and I don't know anything about the pregnant black woman that you guys have starved for 3 years. I'm more concerned about my relationships with Caucasians, because it makes me feel better about myself as a black woman to know that I get all these perks and stuff like that from being up under these whites. And so when I saw the pictures, the Holy Spirit just automatically let me know, okay, she's worshiping them. And so then I came out of the restroom, and the woman was very adamant about me leaving her home. And I asked the woman, I said, can I get a sucker, please? And she said, sure. And I grabbed a strawberry lollipop. It was the Blow Pops. She had them open, and my mom used to love those as well. And she looked almost like my mother, but very dark skinned. And it was a very beautiful dark skin tone, like almost purple, but not deepened in black. And she was very beautiful. And the white people loved being around her, they did. And she obviously loved being around them. And she was, she said, she was calling somebody, and she was asking the man to do a favor for someone. And I realized, I think she was trying to ask the man if he could bring me a burger and fries, because he worked and delivered food, and he was her friend, and he was white. And I think he was telling her that he would not do it for me, and I'm pregnant. And the woman was like, why wouldn't you do it? And I don't know if she doesn't understand that they starved me for 10 months in the Montgomery County Jail while pregnant with this baby, and they starved me in Texas for another year. And then they starved me through Little Rock, Arkansas, and they starved me for the past 7 months here in Atlanta, Georgia, totaling up to about 3 years. They've been starving me pregnant. So the white male didn't want to bring the food to me. And I didn't realize what she was doing through the Holy Spirit until I woke up and I realized that I'm hungry. And I don't know if this key is going to stop working again to this room. And it's going to be a long walk for me to go and try to get food. And I'm hungry. And so that was nice of her to try to get her friend in the vision to see, oh, will you deliver my friend some food? And I was just in her home, in the vision. And then so when I walked out of her home, I was like back in the village, and I don't know exactly where I was, but I was back in the same village where the girls were dancing naked for, dancing, very seductively and doing sexual stuff, calling it work in establishments where you can get food. And so I went back into the village, and they had nice houses. They had houses that were nicer than what you see here in America. So I don't know exactly where I was, if I was in America or in another country. But the woman, she had me leave her home. She tried to get us food, I think. And then all of a sudden in the village, oh, I'm so hungry, and I'm going to eat leftovers from last night, from KFC. They don't have a refrigerator in the unit. And the economy motel should have refrigerators and microwaves, but I know the plot to try to keep me starving. So I would have been able to purchase, microwavable food, and they didn't put a microwave in the room. They want us to starve. And then there are food that I could buy where I could keep it in the refrigerator and heat it up, or keep it in the freezer part, and they don't have a refrigerator in here. So I have like granola bars and stuff like that. And the man got upset when I said I wanted to get meat and cheese sticks from the gas station so that me and my baby could have meat in the room. And he seemed to get very frustrated, and I know why. And he was getting frustrated when I ordered a little extra food as well from KFC, because I know the agenda to try to starve my baby bump in America, and I am starving right now. And as soon as I get done making this video, I'm going to eat the leftover food from last night that was not refrigerated, and hope that it does not make us sick. And then I'm going to see if the key works, and if the Mexican woman downstairs stopped the key from working to try to stop me from leaving out of the room to go and get food. And so it's a weekly motel, but she's claiming she will not remake the key for me if it stops working, and that I will have to wait for the man to come, which would leave me locked out of the room, but back to the vision. So I was walking around this village, and I was looking in my purse, and I think I was trying to find food. Ow, that hurts so bad. How it hurts so bad. Oh God. Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. Oh, I'm trying to hurry and tell y'all. Oh God, because the baby's moving in me and I'm hurting. I'm starving. Okay, so I looked at my purse and I saw there was like some money, but there was like residue of like weed in this little purse, and there was residue of tobacco, and there was residue of like rolling papers. And I've been smoking throughout my pregnancy, because once they lied to me on an ultrasound and said she didn't see a baby, and my sister was acting like she couldn't tell that I was pregnant, and she couldn't see the baby moving in my stomach, and everybody was sex trafficking me and trying to abuse me, I started to smoke marijuana and tobacco to try to ease the pain, and they knew that I was pregnant. And then God came to me and said that he was not angry at me for smoking the cigarettes or the weed while I was pregnant, but that he would rather me smoke the weed than the tobacco. And he said that he knew it was because I did not have any support from anyone while pregnant, and that they were abusing me. And he said that they also had black men set up on every corner to try to convince me to smoke marijuana while pregnant and being abused. And he said that they had them blowing cigarette smoke in my face while they were sexually abusing me and starving me and intimidating me on the streets. And so I saw that I did not have any weed, I did not have any cigarettes, I didn't have any rolling paper, but there was the residue of it. And there was money, some money for me to eat. And they did not want me to have food. The restaurants did not want me to have food. and they have been locking the dining areas in the United States and all of the restaurants. They have been locking their dining room. When they see me coming to the restaurant, they'll hurry and lock the McDonald's dining room at Brookhaven. They'll lock the dining room on Memorial Drive at the Burger King and the KFC, and they'll tell me you have to leave, we're not serving you, and try to starve us for miles. And it hurt me bad to see that. And so in the vision, I was around the girls that were dancing sexually, and I've pretty much been trying to survive in that arena as a pregnant black woman, starved, knowing that they can tell that I'm pregnant and starved. And I wasn't able to be around the working girls, but in the vision, I got tired of trying to fit in with the working girls and them running away from me in the vision. And I was in a room by myself, and I started to just like give up, but then I started to like pick myself back up together and say I'm gonna clean myself up and keep fighting for myself and to have enough money for food and things like that. And there was a man that came to me, and all of a sudden I had on this little colorful shirt, and my hair was almost like dread, and it was very light, almost blonde, but it was like my natural color when it grows out. And then under the sun, it's almost blonde. And he said, Andrea, can you come and work the front register for me? And I've been trying to get work. But when they had me in the home with Marcus Mitchell, I snuck and told him that I was going to go and get a job. And the Illuminati didn't want me to have a job because they didn't want me to have money. And they wanted to try to paint me out as a prostitute and a drug addict on the streets. And I did not know that Marcus Mitchell was sent to me to deceive me. He met me at the West End train station, and I knew that the black men were targeting me, but I was hoping that maybe he would be different. And I knew that he probably was targeting me, but he seemed so nice. And he said that he wanted to be my boyfriend and that I could come to his apartment and live with him. He said he would give me $25 if I would be his girlfriend, because I needed the money to post my hair braiding ads online. And so I said that I would be his girlfriend. And I moved in with him, and they were having sex with me really hard, and I told him I didn't want to do it, and he kicked me out and told me that if I didn't have sex with him, that I couldn't be his girlfriend and that I had to leave. And so I kept staying in the house with him, and he was sexually abusing me. And he knew that I was pregnant. He knew. I told him about the baby. He felt the baby moving. I was recording the baby's heartbeat in the home with him at Luther Landing Apartments here in Atlanta, Georgia, around MLK Drive and Westlake train station. We used to walk there, and he was saying he was going to work, and he kept always saying he was quitting his job or getting fired, and he started watching my every move in the home. I was putting out evidence about my pregnancy and my son being abducted from me, and Cynthia threatened to rape him with her gang. And they had him trying to start altercations with me in the home, and they started to have him and his roommate eating up all of my food because I was getting food stamps. And they had him yelling at me, and I called the police once, and I looked up his record, and I didn't see a picture next to his report, but it said that he was a felon, that he was convicted for assault, and he pulled a weapon out on a security officer, and he was saying he was bipolar. And I told him that I was going to get a job, and all of a sudden my identification went missing, and I couldn't get a job. So when the man said, Andrea, in the vision, would you like to come and work the register for me? The Holy Spirit in me said, sure. Normally, I wouldn't like to work for them knowing what they did to me. But God said yes, she would like to work the register. So I can have my own money. And I can be a real woman. Not a prostitute. Because that's what they painted me out to be. And I'm not a prostitute. And I don't want to have sex with any of these men. But I was hungry.